Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Girl Next Door podcast. Today, I am struggling with the concept of being perceived. I'm your host, Sean, aka your number one source of fashion-related, but occasionally great pop culture takes. So, this is my first... Sorry, my mic stand keeps tipping over. Give me 1 sec. So this is my first stream back from, oh god, I guess it's been like about a week now. So in case anybody needs a quick recap, I mean, I say it's gonna be a quick recap, but like I think the entire stream is probably gonna be recap oriented, if that makes any sense. Basically, I went on a cute little trip with my partner to Boston last weekend, because my birthday was last week and also our anniversary was around the same time. So it was just like, okay, like, let's get both out of the way. Let's just have like a fun trip, get away from everything, just like, hang out, meet up with a couple of my friends in the city, just because I wanted to be able to introduce him, but because we don't live anywhere near Boston, it's kind of hard to get everybody together, if that makes any sense. It'd be like a lot of like, FaceTime calls, and obviously there's nothing wrong with doing any of that, but it's not the same as like actually being able to introduce your boyfriend to your friends, be like, hey, this is the person I've been dating for X amount of time. And something that we didn't really fully realize until I don't want to say too late, because it ended up working out great, and I love that this is how it worked out. I completely spaced that the weekend that we were going to be there was the same weekend as PAX East, and I'm just like, oh, I know people like online who stream that I would love to get to meet in person. I don't know how many opportunities I'll get for them to be up here in friggin' New England, because they live either in like Georgia or like the DMV area or whatever. Is that how people say it? Do they say the DMV area, or do they just say the DMV? I'm pretty sure they just say the DMV. But we just yeah, it just worked out great. I had a fun time. I didn't go actually into the convention center to like do PAX related stuff, so I'm clickbaiting a little bit. I didn't actually go to PAX. I was just in the city at the same time and just kind of met up with everybody during like the after party stuff and the after events, and if anybody was like free or around. But it was mostly just me and my boyfriend kind of just roaming the city, I guess. I'll show some pictures in a bit. I have my mobile capture going right now. Well, this is my first time like using it like live on stream instead of like when I was trying to test it a while ago to see if I could get mobile games sort of going. So this will be the first time that we're gonna practically use it. I'm always scared. Well, I say always as if I do this a lot. There's like a part of me that's like a little bit worried whenever I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna show somebody my phone, or I'm gonna show somebody like sort of, you know, my browser, that like something's gonna like pop up in the corner or whatever that's gonna like be be bad or not safe. Even though I don't have anything like that on my phone, I really shouldn't be, you know, stressing over that. Hang on, you know, before I forget, that's actually a good reminder. I should probably put do not disturb on, so because people who do not want their text read on stream would probably not appreciate that. But yeah, it was just a cute, fun weekend. We didn't end up doing a whole lot when it like wasn't like non-Twitch people related stuff, and it was kind of just a result of poor planning in a lot of respects, mostly on my, I mean, it was almost entirely on my end. We had planned to go to the aquarium on Saturday, and I don't know why I didn't think about reserving the tickets ahead of time, because that would have, like, that makes sense to do that. You might as well get them, so then you don't have to be like waiting in line, like you already have them. But then on top of the fact that like there's like capacity issues and stuff because of like COVID, and I just completely, because I haven't been to like an aquarium or even a museum in like, I don't want to say several years because that'll make me sound uncultured, but basically several years. I just didn't think about it ahead of time. And hang on, my chair is like slowly going down. I'm gonna mute myself very quickly so you don't have to hear me struggle with it. So one sec. Okay, I'm back. This is a great start to an amazing stream. Probably gonna be a short stream. I know that's like, it's my thing to say it's gonna be a short stream and it ends up being really long, but to be perfectly honest, I'm not feeling great. I haven't really felt great since the weekend. I know it's not COVID. I did get tested. It's not that. Honestly, I think something that I've been having to kind of like accept about myself is like, I used to travel so much before the pandemic, and I think I'd mentioned it like in the past that like this is sort of the I guess the first time since the since the pandemic that I even left the state, which is really weird for me to think about because it was like right before the pandemic. I had been living in Japan for about a year, which was a lot of fun, and it's obviously very different from from living here. But going from the other side of the world to being like restrained to your hometown is it's definitely perspective changing, I guess. But because I haven't traveled in a bit, I think I don't know if this is possible, but I'm gonna say that this is what it was. So I outgrew motion sickness probably around 12-13 years old, which became very, very helpful with the amount of traveling that I would be doing over, I hate to say the next decade, but I mean that's what it ended up being. Okay, it's the next decade. I'm old now. I'm 25. And ooh, also, hang on, I'm just looking at my levels right now, so I'm hoping I'm not too quiet. I just like have my audio mixer in like the corner of my eye. But yeah, so I feel like I'd overcome motion sickness that was really bad for me growing up, and I think, again, I'm not a doctor, so this is probably not how it works, but I think that I have like developed it again after just not being like out and about for such a long amount of time, really. At least for like, you know, like long ass bus rides or really, really long car rides. Just haven't been doing that. I think being out of practice has sort of reintroduced that bodily reaction from me. So I was miserable the ride down. We took a bus. I'm glad the bus ride down was like fine. We didn't have any like real problems with passengers. We weren't like running into issues with like crunch time. Honestly, it went pretty smoothly. I'm kind of surprised that my first trip, you know, back had kind of went, at least started off that smoothly. The first day was fine outside of, you know, like me feeling like absolute shit by the time we got into Boston, but because like South Station was so far from, well, quote unquote so far, it really wasn't, from our hotel, I got to walk around a bit. My legs were able to sort of remember how to be legs. I got like some fresh air, and by the time we checked in and then immediately went off to dinner to meet up with a friend, I was fine. But I knew like the next day though that I probably wasn't going to be great, and I was not looking forward to it, but I was trying to live in the moment. But yeah, the hotel we were at, you know what, I might as well start showing photos now since I'm here. I'm just gonna like scroll through some quick ones, some quick cute ones, I guess. Hopefully mobile capture decides not to be a doo-doo head. Look at us. This is me and my man. I'm like, so my motion sickness is that, or sort of the main trigger for it is like being on my phone. So I literally just like, I'm gonna take this picture and then my phone's going away for the entire ride because I do not feel like puking today. And that's what happened though. I mean, I didn't puke, but you know, my phone went away. I had like my playlist going. I was just like listening to music. I'm just like, I'm gonna try to pass out because I fucking hate it here. And I mean, we got through it. The second ride was honestly worse just because we had a kid. Oh my god, we had a kid. I think they were like, I want to say they were probably 10. But he came on the bus with his parents and like his iPad, and he was literally just blasting on repeat like this terrible house remix of the polka dot afro meme. Can we call it a meme? I don't even want to like grace it with like that title anymore because it's just like it was never that funny to me, but having it be in this like this remix format played over and over and over again when like at that point I'd been up since 5 a.m. because I just had a difficult time sleeping, and by then it was oh god, was it like 8 or 9? I was just like trying to sleep and this kid was just blasting music and I'm like so by the time I got home I was just completely spent. I passed out immediately until like noon the next day, and this wasn't even that long of a trip. That was the thing that bugged me the most, was like this was not a very long trip. This was like essentially an overnight, and it like took me out. I'm like, this is pathetic. I literally the trip before I was like traveling for 27-28 hours straight, like across the world over like multiple airports and shit, and like I was fine. Like how am I like doing this poorly after just being out for like one weekend? But that's life, and that's, you know, that's, I'm hoping as time goes on I get more acclimated, and things get better from there. But yeah, so this is just us on the bus. So I don't love how this crops like pictures like on the phone, so I'm gonna try to like swipe it a little bit so you can at least see like the full picture. But yeah, so our hotel was in sort of the overlap between the theater district and Chinatown, I would say, which I really enjoyed personally. I was scared that we would have to walk so far, or at least be taking the train so much just to be around it, like anything, or have to spend like a ton on an Uber. But I mean, we were near so many restaurants. There was so much boba tea, which, the stereotypical Asian that I am, I was completely in love with, totally all over, super gaga for her. And I mean, I like boba milk tea just because it's one of the few milk products, quote unquote, that doesn't bother my stomach. I'm very lactose intolerant. That's another thing that makes me very stereotypically Asian. Like, I'm lactose intolerant. I have acid reflux. I think the only thing, honestly, I'm missing that I can think of from being Asian is like maybe eczema, or psoriasis. But everything else I feel like so basic for it. But yeah, no, we were near a lot of restaurants. Not all of them were things that like we really wanted. I mean, because you can only have like Asian cuisine so many times, and it actually seemed like a lot of the restaurants that were like immediately around us were a little bit more either dessert oriented or sort of like those in between kind of meals. There were some exceptions, but for the most part, we only really sat down at like one restaurant. I don't know if I took any. I'll see if there's like photos like on my phone that are here. I have everything sort of organized. Oh, this is another one. We're gonna ignore how bad the window flare reflection is, but it's the same street. You can see the very in the distance. You can see the gates to Chinatown, which I wanted to take so many pictures near, but my hair was not cooperating with me. I do have some, but like I'm not going to show you because I wouldn't even post them on my Instagram. I definitely don't want to like have them on stream. Thank you very much. Oh, this is one selfie though. That was okay though. It's so narcissistic. Okay, so this was at the restaurant we went to. I believe it was called Shoujo. It was one that one of my bestest friends in the world invited me to, and it was like okay, I'll be honest. I think maybe it was just an off night. But I didn't really vibe with it. It seemed like everybody else's food was kind of better than mine. And even then, like this was what was it called? It was like a kind of like novelty burger, I guess. The thing that this like restaurant seemed to specialize in mostly was like bao related cuisine, if that makes any sense. Like it was just sort of like being like, how many meals can we sort of center around like bao and like incorporate everything else with, which you think would like be kind of like interesting, and maybe it is to some people. I think it just didn't do anything for me personally. So this is what my boyfriend got. It was like some kind of burger. He'll have to remind me what it was called because I don't remember it off the top of my head. I meant to ask to try it, but I just didn't. I honestly did want to try it though, because what I had was like, okay, so here's the other thing. Okay, so this is what my friend Jared ended up getting. or one of the things anyway. It was like kind of more of like a appetizer side dish kind of thing. This was like I'm gonna be honest, this was the best part of the meal. I will give them credit. Like it might not presentation wise look that great or be that special because it's just kind of like, you know, fries and shit. But like it was literally crack. So they do get points for that. I mean, I feel like it's kind of hard to fuck that up though. Hang on. I gotta fix my photos. Okay, so this is what I got. Let's see if I can make mobile capture like this more. I don't think I can get like a good angle of it. So basically the idea of it was I saw like the menu. Oh yeah, so the reason I'm showing this picture is because I didn't get that many pictures of my meal that were that appetizing, and like the ones that I did try, it literally, I kid you not, the camera focus only would go towards like my friend's food, which it was like infinitely better. So but basically it was a the menu said it was like a kara age bao dish. Now kara age is I mean, I guess to put it in like to dramatically oversimplify it and make a lot of people mad at me, it's essentially fried chicken. There's like kind of like a slight difference to it in the sense that like the textures that you want out of kara age are different than fried chicken, but like the process is like pretty similar, except maybe you use sort of potato a little bit more for like the breading. But even then I would like argue that there's like still like potato breading that's that would be used on like American fried chicken. But yeah, so it was kara age with sort of wrapped in bao. And I'll be honest, I thought it was gonna look completely different. It kind of came out looking like a mushy like a mushy taco. And I feel bad. I don't want it to come off as me like shitting on the restaurant or something, because like maybe I just didn't get it. I feel like with like a lot of like really trendy millennial restaurants or whatever, I act like that this is like a super gentrified thing, but like, it is actually like owned by it is owned by like a Chinese family that actually owns a lot of the restaurants in Chinatown, which was kind of interesting to hear about. But it did give off like very gentrified vibes though, honestly, like very millennial gentrified vibes. So like those kinds of restaurants kind of always elude me a bit. Like whenever I see like, I mean, I've literally had there's like a deconstructed taco bowl or something, which like if it sounds stupid to you, it's because it kind of is. And like honestly, like anything like deconstructed, quote unquote, which is literally just like putting all of like the ingredients out in front of you and be like, eat it, bitch. That's kind of what it is, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but yeah, it's like it came out like kind of cold. The kara age was room temperature. It had the texture of pulled pork. The breading was not crunchy at all. And honestly, the sauce was okay, but like again, it's like I didn't want the sauce to be the best part of like the dish. I wanted it to be a fight between like what I was hoping would be more akin to the kara age that I was able to have in Japan, that I was craving because I have not been in Japan for 2 years, almost 3 years now. Jesus fucking Christ. Or the bao, because I feel like bao is hard to fuck up. I'm so sorry to the person working that night. I did try my friend's because he got like an eggplant one instead, and I liked that one significantly better. But like the fact, I don't want to say how much this meal was, but it was way more than honestly what it was like worth. At least from like a meal experience. Like maybe the ingredients are just like so good or fresh that that it's like that pricey, but it was more than it kind of deserved to be, and I feel bad saying that because I don't want my friend to watch this and feel like, oh wow, you really hated that place I took you to, and it's just like, but like at the same time, like he kind of knew. I think he knew that something was off. Um, and I want to give the restaurant the benefit of the doubt that it's like usually good the rest of the time. But this is the first. I think it's the first time he's been there during the pandemic. Um, and or at least one of the few times. And I know that the menu supposedly rotates out a lot, so maybe it was just a bum night. Who knows? But it was an experience. On top of the fact that like I got a specialty drink while I was there because I'm just like, okay, I don't gotta drive. I can literally walk to the hotel because it's like only a couple blocks away. I am going to drink. I thought I was going to drink more than I actually was, but this first drink that I got was so fucking terrible. I know I'm sounding like such a bitch right now. And I think for the rest of this stuff, maybe I'm like being like a little dramatic, but I will say this is the worst fucking drink I've ever had. Maybe I shouldn't have said the name of the restaurant. Because I think I tagged them in one of my Instagram posts. The server we had was very nice. They took a lovely picture of like all of us together that I don't remember if I included in the slideshow or not. Yeah, no, it's called the Seoul Sizzle, like Seoul is in like South Korea. And I knew it was going to be a spicy drink. I was just like, okay, well, you know, my acid reflux is probably going to hate me, but like, you know, this is my first girlies trip in forever. I want to be a little bit more adventurous. I kind of figured that I would be drinking more later in the night if I went up to go meet with everybody. Which even then I didn't drink that much, so it didn't even matter. I was just like, okay, you know, I want to try something very different, and it might be, when I say it out loud, like maybe to like everybody listening, they're like, the Soul Sizzle is like actually a very basic, simple drink that like everybody knows about, and I just didn't know that it was common because I'm like stupid and uncultured or something. But yeah, I don't remember specifically what was in it, but I don't think it really mattered because it came out looking like very pulpy grapefruit juice, and it tasted like nothing. Like all it did was like make my tongue and like the back of my throat burn, but it didn't taste like anything. And I'm just like, I don't think I've ever had a drink that's like an alcoholic beverage this tasted like nothing. Like I did not taste alcohol. I didn't like feel anything from it. I thought maybe it'd be like kind of juicy because I think that there was like some kind of fruit thing in there, and then like I said, it looked like grapefruit juice, but it was like grapefruit juice mixed with like carrot juice, and I was just like, okay, this could be interesting. You know, it was kind of small for the for the price that we paid for it, so I was just like, okay, this better be good. And it was absolute shit, and I hated it. I don't even think I finished it. I think this is one of the first. I hate sending drinks back, because I feel like it's kind of rude. I know that it's not. It's like only rude if you go about it in kind of a rude way, but like it isn't inherently rude to be like, hey, I don't want this. Can you send it back and like maybe something else? I didn't do that night. I feel like I 100% should have, instead of being like a fucking beta about it. But this is one of the few times that I seriously really considered sending the drink back. Like whenever a server came over, I just was sort of like slowly pushing the drink further and further away from me, hoping that they would take it away. I know that's so passive aggressive and really petty. I'm not claiming to be the most mature person in the world. It was definitely like I could have handled it better, but it was not good. I will say it was not the highlight of my trip. I think that was kind of like, honestly, really the only quote unquote low point I had, because otherwise it was a pretty fun weekend. Like the night definitely got better from there. On top of the fact that it's like, again, I was I really just wanted to see you can kind of see like my friend's hands in the picture, but like I hadn't seen Jared in like a bit. I've known him for like almost 4 years now, I think, which is like difficult for me to wrap my head around because it feels like I just met him, but he's great. But he lives in Boston, so actually not anymore technically. But it just means I don't ever get to see him. So we're gonna move on because this this food is upsetting me. Oh yeah, this is just a cute mural that was like outside of the restaurant. Okay, so this is the more fun part of the night, and this is where story time happens. Okay, so I knew that DataDave and a bunch of other streamers that I know, who I did take pictures with one other person, because I was really super fucking awkward. I knew that they were in town, and I was just like, okay, I don't know how Friday's gonna go. I'll probably be more available on Saturday, but I know you probably have convention stuff, so just let me know if you have time for like coffee or time for like something during the day. I get like a DM on Discord that's like, hey, we're going to, so I couldn't tell if that was like the name of like the place, but it was like arcade, but it was like with a 4. And then I realized after the fact that it's just like, oh, it's because it's in area 4. But I thought it was just an arcade. I mean, he just described it as an arcade. I definitely could have Googled it. It was my fault for not Googling it more. So I was just like, oh yeah, I mean, how late are y'all gonna be there? I don't want to hold anybody up, because at that point it was like 11 p.m. and I was like, oh, I feel like if everybody's like about to leave, I'd feel bad if like I showed up at like the very ends and then it kind of kept people there or just sort of made things awkward. I was getting like really in my head about it because that's what I do. And he was like, no, we just got here, and we'll be here for a bit. So I was like, okay, cool. So I underestimated how pricey lifts could be during that time of night, because I know the prices go up because of all of like the drunk girlies that are sort of either going to clubs or leaving early or whatever. The place our hotel was at, because we were in like the theater district, there was a lot of nightclubs. There are so many people walking out in like way less clothes than like I would have personally done for like 40 degrees at night, and then it's like super windy, but like you do you, no shade. So we get there and I didn't, oh my god, this is how dumb I am. I 100% could have Googled it ahead of time. I brought my partner there, and then like I saw that there was like a person like at the door. By the way, this is like, so it's like a grilled cheese restaurant, but I guess it's kind of like I think it's kind of like a speakeasy kind of vibe where it's in the back. But I saw that there was like a guy at the door that like, was carding people. I'm just like, oh shit, is this like a club or something? Or is this like a, is there an age gate for it? Because like, my boyfriend's not 21, so he wouldn't be able to get in. I'm just like, I just dragged you for like an almost, I fucking hate to say that it was like, I mean, like maybe this is, it was like $30, almost $40 for like a lift for like a 10-minute drive. I don't like admitting that. Maybe that's like still low for some people, and like it just, somebody's gonna say like, oh, that could have been way worse, but for me, I was just I didn't love it, and then I didn't love the fact that I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna have to send you, either we're both gonna go back to the hotel because you can't get in, or we're gonna like separate for the night, which made me feel very shitty bringing it up, because I'm just like, this is like our birthday anniversary weekend, we're here to spend time together, and like I'm sending you back to like the hotel room at like 11 at night after dragging you out on like, I think was like an overpriced lift. But he's like, no, it's fine. You don't get to talk to these people. Like, we don't get to see these people ever. Like, I mean, and you know, like this was a thing that you like wanted to do because, you know, it's PAX weekend, but you're not doing PAX stuff, but you still want to like, you know, meet people that you watch their streams like literally all the time. You know, you might as well have some embarrassing fan behavior. So that was me. So so the way they were doing it, I don't think this part of the story is particularly interesting, but I just thought it was nice. There was a group in front of me that went in after they all got carted and everything, and like the guy who was like watching the door kind of just like assumed that I was with that group. So like he didn't like stop me for like capacity reasons or anything, but when he saw I didn't follow him, just like, oh, I thought you were with that group. And I'm just like, no, I get that you're at capacities, like I don't mind waiting outside, and people behind you are just like, well, I mean, if you thought he was part of that group, you might as well let him through. He was like, okay, yeah, fine, fuck it, you know, it's Friday, whatever. I'm just like, thank you. I know that's like not a super interesting part of the story, but I thought it was very sweet, and I was also very cold that night, so I was more than happy to not have to wait outside any longer than I already was. Even though it could definitely was not the worst the line could be. I would find out later that night that the line was like actually way worse. But yeah, it was like, so I get inside and I'm just kind of like walking around the restaurant because I didn't walk in with that group. I didn't follow them in. I didn't know where they were where they were going, and I didn't really get good directions, I guess. I was just kind of like following the music, and then like I go to this like freezer door, excuse me, like a freezer door, you know, that like restaurants have, like, you know, by the kitchen, and I'm hearing the music behind it, and I'm just like, okay, well, I don't know where the fuck I'm supposed to go though, like. And then like some people like walked up behind me, they knew what to do. They opened the freezer door, and then inside it's this like arcade themed bar. There's like arcade machines everywhere, pinball machines. There's very loud music, which I have my own sort of feelings. I have my own feelings about. It definitely like played up my anxiety more because again, like I thought that this was like just like, oh, it's like an arcade. Okay, so this will be like, you know, there'll be like machines and people are just like kind of walking around and it will be like chill. But like no, it's like it's like a room full of very tightly packed people. They're all like dancing, grinding on each other, and like spilling drinks everywhere. And I'm just like this like 5'2" kid who looks like he's like fucking he looks like a fucking high schooler with like this like backpack, and I'm like holding it like against my chest like tightly, and like my fists are clenched, and I'm just like so awkward, and I'm just like I don't know where to find everybody, because I told them that I was like outside, and they're just like, okay, like come on through, we're really sorry that like we didn't check ahead of time with like the age thing, and we didn't realize that your boyfriend wouldn't have been able to get in. Let me buy you a drink, let's, you know, let's hang out for a bit. I'm just like, okay, yeah. But my social anxiety was like all the way up here. I'm really bad with like, okay, so this is where like I start to contradict myself a lot. So I have really sensitive ears, and loud music kind of stresses me out usually. I know that makes me sound like such like a boomer and like a really boring person, but that's just how like my body is. But then I don't have a problem with concerts. Like my stress factor goes like out the window with that, but in any other scenario, like I'm very very sensitive and very like I do get a little bit caught up if like the surroundings are like really busy, and I mean, because that's just having anxiety and like being agoraphobic. But I'm just like, okay, well, I just I just sent my boyfriend back in a lift by himself after dragging him out here, just so that I could come inside and like meet up with people, So I'm just fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna grow a pair and just like go through. I like pushed my way all the way to like the bar to sort of see where like everybody is, and then like I found DataDave in blizzb3ar, just kind of like just there, and I'm like, oh shit, all right. Well, this makes my life easier because I was worried that I was going to be trying to find them literally all night. Because like, okay, keeping in mind, I didn't really know what the size of the place was going to be. I'm short, so I can't really see over a lot of like machines and everything, so I can't tell how far back everything goes when I walked in. So I was just like, oh my god, I'm not going to be able to like find anybody. I'm just going to be this lost puppy. And then they're like right there. They were super sweet. I mean, I knew that I knew that they were going to be, because they're every interaction I've had with them like online has been like really nice, but I figured that they were going to be taller than me, because everybody is, but I was definitely very humbled as like one of the shorter people in in the venue that night. But it's okay. Nobody used my head as an armrest, which was nice. And like you think I'm saying that as a joke, but like no, it does happen. But yeah, I did get like more comfortable as like the night went on, and I even if I like kind of kept to myself in like the corner a little bit, I was still sort of trying to stay around everybody and have fun. And eventually, like once my ears started becoming like more like acclimated, I guess, to like the environment, I was able to start like feeling the vibe a little bit more, and I was starting to be like, okay, like, because here's the thing, because like I don't go clubbing, I don't go I don't really go to to bars that are like sort of this energy, I guess. So like it's very new to me. I'm very much a baby in that respect. So I wasn't really I didn't know what to do with my hands like ever. But like what else is new? I never know what to do with my hands. I feel like that's like anxiety 101 is, or social anxiety 101 is like being all too aware of your hands and your kind of just your appendages in general, and like not knowing where to put everything or how not to bump into everybody, on top of the fact that I just have this like, I brought my backpack in like this in the case of like, okay, well it has like my chargers in it, it has like some like water in it, and like in case there's like an issue or whatever, like at least I can like have it. I definitely like over prepare whenever I go out, so I definitely did look a little bit ridiculous in there, even though like a lot of people were coming from the convention center, so they had their backpacks too. They had like sort of more reasonable sized ones. I just had like a full-on like backpack from school. I looked like I came home from like band practice, in like a room full of people that, honestly, there were a lot of people that were just aggressively horny. Which like I get that can be like the vibe of you know, that kind of like place, and like that sort of like high energy where like, you know, there's like dancing, there's like music, there's like alcohol. It's just like, yeah, I get it, but like there's some people that are just like they're 100% ready to fuck, and I'm like, I feel like I am intruding on something. I feel like I should go over there and look away while y'all get your business done. More power to you. But yeah, no, it was just like, I'm a sex positive person, obviously, but like it was a lot. it was a lot. And like I'm not, when I say like horny dancing, it's just like I'm not just, I mean, I don't really consider like twerking like horny dancing or anything, or like as, you know, a surface level version of like grinding, or, you know, it's like if it's like not too intense, it's just like I'm not going to be like clutching my pearls in like the club or something. But it's like, no, like these people were like, might as well have been like sucking each other's titties. Sorry, that's a really gross noise I just made, but that's what it was. It's like they looked like they were like ready to like Salk and Falk, and Salkin and Falcon. But other than that, though, it was fine. I was very awkward, and like I don't really have a loud voice. I'm not great at like projecting or anything, so I'm just sort of like struggling to be heard by everybody who's like used to being to being in this setting. So it was definitely a fun first experience. I'm glad nobody nobody tried to like fuck with me or anything. Like I did feel safe there. Like I should say that. Like I did feel very safe in that environment. And I mean, I still did all of like the usual stuff. Just like, I'm gonna watch my drink. I'm gonna stick with like a group of people. I didn't know where the bathroom was, so thank God I didn't drink that much, because if I needed to piss like a racehorse and I didn't know where that restroom was, it was going to be. I would try to find it, but like it gets to the point where like I do consider leaving. Girl, nobody better be acting a fool with me at PAX East, or we're going viral. Girl, hi Justin. We're just recapping shit. And it's just me being awkward at at social events. But hi, how are you? How's your night going? I don't know if you can hear it. I'm very sick, so this is gonna be like a shorter stream. But I thought, like, because I haven't been on for, I really was tempted to be like, do I like put off stream again, or do I like try to power through it? But like I'm powering through it now. It seemed to be doing okay. I think I'm just like maybe a little bit hoarse and like my stomach's a little bit funky. It's not COVID, before you say anything. I did test myself immediately because I was super paranoid about that. Haha, I love that. I hope Dave and Blizz made you nervous. They were like, I feel kind of like embarrassed of like how much I was the I'm very much a person that like, if I'm like uncomfortable, I definitely like sort of cling a little bit to like people that give off like comfier vibes, or people that I already know. So I definitely kind of like hung out in like like the corner, sort of like around them. I definitely like, something that I am like fully aware of and own and try to work through is like I definitely have resting bitch face. So if I'm like actually not having fun, or if I'm like sort of like uncomfortable, like it gets played up even more, because I just have like a very like, you wouldn't be able to tell from like if I take the photos where like I'm like smiling and shit with like people, and like I look like I'm having fun, but like it, like my smile, like immediately my entire face drops like afterwards, and people are just like, oh my god, what happened? Like every time I like at school photos and everything, like somebody would take a pic of me, I didn't, the best smile that I can and try to be photogenic, and then like after that flash goes off, I'm just like, okay, cool, I look like I hate everything, but I swear I don't. I just like my face just like immediately relaxes, and I don't know, I was really scared that I was like looking like I was looking like I wasn't having that much fun. Like I was just like, I'm not used to that. So I'm very much an introvert, and I wasn't expecting it to be that kind of vibe and that kind of energy that night. So I was like, oh, okay, I didn't prepare myself emotionally, so I gotta like amp myself up a bit and try to look like I'm having like a good time. I can vouch that Dave is just generally perpetually chill. No reason to be embarrassed with him. I mean, I guess, yeah. I don't know. I definitely I overthink every interaction like I have with anybody, but he was really sweet. He got me a drink because of like a mix up that we had earlier in the evening. So oh, okay. So I don't want this to come off as mean, because it's definitely not. I get to say this because I am like actually short, because I'm like 5'2", but like it is weird seeing Dave's actual height. Like I didn't expect Dave to be like shorter than my boyfriend. Even though he's like said it on stream before, and like I definitely could have like guessed. I was just like, oh yeah, no, you're not a short king per se, but like you're definitely not tall. blizzb3ar was about the height that I expected, but Dave gives a big present, so it's shocking when he's 5'10". Yeah, no, literally though. I'm just like, oh, like that's I don't want to say because like because again, like I'm fucking short as hell. So like I don't get to judge. Like he still towers over me, but I don't know why I was like expecting like a different height, even though he's literally said that he's like 5'10". But I just thought that was funny. Because then I'm just like, oh, literally everybody I've dated is like taller than you. I don't know why that was like the first thing that like I thought of. We love intrusive thoughts. You know, blizzb3ar was about the height that like I saw, and he was really sweet. Professor Reject was there as well. He was all. I wish I got a picture with him. I was kind of too awkward to like ask for pictures, which is like kind of embarrassing. But I'm very shy. I think anybody who looks at me and can like guess that I'm shy is 100% right. I am like incredibly fucking shy. So I don't know. I had a difficult time, but then like there are so many like sweet people like there that were just like, as soon as they're just like, oh yeah, no, this is Lyrically. I'm just like, they're like, oh my god, hi. I don't know if you know who I am. I'm da 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 da. I'm just like, oh hey, how's it going? And and I don't know. I appreciate people that are so naturally gregarious and like outgoing that they can sort of bring you into conversation instead of making you feel more and more like you're on a separate island of like people who don't know how to like talk and function in social settings. Oh, you're a girl who loves size difference. Listen, okay, granted, it's not hard to be taller than me, to be fair. Like everybody I've dated has been taller than me, because it's almost impossible for you to like not to be. But it's just like, I like men who look like they can protect me as like, you know, the small being that I am, I guess. I don't fucking know. I feel bad sometimes because I prey on introverts to, oh, so when they meet me, they always think I'm in, excuse me, I'm like, sorry, I had like cola earlier. They always think I'm an extrovert, but I just enjoy sapping the little extrovert energy they have left. That's fair. Yeah, I envy Blizz and Dave a little because they seem to be consistently positive and extroverted. That's definitely the vibe that like I get. But I feel like Blizz might be like a little, I don't want to speak on behalf of him. But like he definitely does kind of like have more vibes of both. Whereas I think Dave is just like fully an extrovert. I'm not extroverted, I'm just a sadist. Fucking mood though. So for me, like so if you're going by the definition of people who feel like energized by being around people as opposed to being like energized by being alone, I guess technically I'm sort of considered extroverted because like I am social. I'm just like not good at being social, but like I don't consider myself like incredibly introverted, I guess. I don't know, I tell people that like maybe I'm like a shy extrovert, but then even then that feels like a stretch because I'm very like, I am shy, but I like being around people. I kind of like being the awkward plus one in a lot of settings, because at least it means that like I'm around. I exist. People like being around me, I guess. Or yeah, I like to hope so. Dave gets more extroverted when he's nervous too, which I enjoy. He really does. It was kind of funny because like by the time that I'd gotten there, I mean, they'd already been to like 2 other places, and then he like had already started drinking like around dinner, so he was like on his way, well on his way to being like completely gone that night. And then like by, oh my, God, what song was playing? I'm exposing him right now by saying this, but like the Tonka did come out. Like there was some light twerking. No, it was really funny. No, he seems like somebody that's like great to like go out with. If I was somebody that like enjoyed going out more, that's definitely the kind of like personality and energy I would like being around. You should see how well he gets with Veishi in the room. I can only imagine, honestly. Like now that I think about it, like, because like they definitely bounce off of each other. I just like peaked my mic so much, because like I need to like stop like hitting my my sound reflector, but Veishi's an even bigger extrovert while being way smaller. I know he's shorter. I don't remember what his height is, but yes. I mean, he's probably still taller than me. It doesn't make a difference, but yeah, no, it was just a fun night. Dave waited for me to find my lift, so I wasn't just like waiting out at the corner where I would be like abducted by a white van. So that was very nice. We love doing the bare minimum. No, but it was really sweet. And but then I got back to my hotel and I was locked out of the building for like 40 minutes, and then I was locked out of my room because my car didn't work. So but then at that point, like, it was like almost 2. My boyfriend was like asleep in the room at that point. I kept calling him, just like, please let me in, I don't want to sleep in the hallway tonight, I'm gonna look like such a bum. But I was able to go downstairs and like get a new key card, and it was fine. But it was definitely a way to end the night. I will say, I think I know I said it in Veishi's chat the other night. I think I found out sort of after the fact. Well, my boyfriend told me, so that's why I want to like say I'm definitely heavily paraphrasing the story. But near my hotel, this was like the night that I did go out, and at this point, like, my boyfriend was like already back in the hotel, so like neither of us were around where this like happened. But there was I don't know why I'm laughing. I think it's just because I'm uncomfortable about it, but I guess there was like a shooting near my hotel. It was like at a bar, I guess, like a fight or something escalated, and somebody like brought a gun. I don't think anybody died or anything, but like I didn't even know that like it happened until like a couple days ago. I'm just like, oh shit. This is like the night that we were all out. I'm just like, well, I'm glad. What's funny was that like because I really was almost like, oh, I feel bad like ditching you to go like hang out with like online people after this was like, a trip that was like supposed to be like for us. And he was like, no, it's fine. I'm just like, are you sure? Because like we can just like go back and like hang around Chinatown and like see like what places are open. I wouldn't mind, getting like some drinks and like hanging out and shit, and walking around. But like I'm kind of glad that wasn't the case, because that's like, I don't know exactly what the likelihood of me being in that bar or near that area would have been. And I know this is definitely like, it's not a good look for me to be making this like very scary circumstance about me by being one of those people that just like, oh my god, I could have been like right there when it happened, or like, oh my god, if I I like knew a person who knew that person who knew somebody who was in the area when that happened. That's like so insane. What if I was there and saw it myself? Or what if I got like hurt? Like, I don't want to be that person, but I know I'm 100% being that person that's like It's like, oh my god, if I was like in the country during 9/11, I could have been like in the country during 9/11. So there'd be like a chance for like me to be there. Like it's like, yeah, no, it's like something really stupid like that. But like no, it's like that's not, I'm not trying to make it like about me. But it was just kind of like weird to think about, you know. That like I had literally suggested just like, oh, let's just like walk around Chinatown, you know, at night. You know, everything's like well lit, people are out, I'm not worried about getting like mugged or some shit. But apparently I should have been a little bit more scared about, about like somebody bringing a gun or some shit. It was, yeah. I want to say that was like intense, but like I wasn't around it. I can't claim that just like, oh yeah, that was so intense, because I'm just like, no, I was in Cambridge. Like, yas, night crawling terror realness. Yes. Um no, it was fun. I kind of, you know, I did sort of I did sort of reconvene with like my boyfriend later about it, being like, if there was anything we could have changed about the trip, I probably would have stayed for one more day, to be honest. I kind of feel like, even though I was very very tired by the end of it, because like this was a short trip. Like I've definitely been on longer trips. I've traveled for longer than like this trip was. Like I said it like earlier, I literally had like been in transit for like 28 hours on like my trip to Japan, because of layover after layover, and then just being on a plane for like a ridiculously long time. And all of that is like is longer than the amount of time that I actually was there. But just because like I haven't traveled in so long that I wasn't like, my body wasn't used to it, I was ready to fucking crash. But like if we had been there one more day, I probably would have felt better about stuff, because like the way that we had our weekend lined up was we got there like, so we were supposed to get there Friday afternoon like around 3, but our bus, even though our bus came in on time, we didn't have a ton of stops, and like traffic wasn't that bad. Somehow we were still over an hour and a half late. So we thought we'd have like more time to check into our hotel before going off to dinner to meet up with some of my friends, and we did not. So we got on a Friday, stayed overnight, had to check out of our hotel like around like 11 the next day, and we were just like, okay, we're just gonna be out, we're gonna go to the aquarium, we're just gonna like walk around for a bit, and then our bus was, well, our bus was supposed to be at 7, but then I guess we got that wrong too, because it was actually at 6, so we almost missed it. And yeah, so I feel like personally, if I was to redo the trip, I probably would have let Saturday be an all-day thing, because like not being able to go back somewhere to like take a nap or like rest my feet or even shower, because it was very hot on Saturday during the day, was not smart of me to think. Like honestly, we should have planned like check out closer to our bus than we actually did. Because it was just us like wandering around Boston like idiots after all of like the plans that, granted, they were not very well thought out or detailed plans, fell through. So it became like, okay, well, what air conditioned place do we want to be in next? Which then so eventually we did find this I forgot what the name of it was, but it was like we were so close. I know I hate saying this, we were so close to getting McDonald's for lunch. It was so frustrating trying to find a place like near where we were at that point, after like walking around all day to try to get to like the pier and like be able to go to the aquarium, only for it to be closed. And it's just like, okay, well, I'm like disappointed, I'm like kind of like upset about this, but I'm like mostly just hungry. Let's go somewhere to like get something to eat, right? Everything there, oh my god, $30/$40 fucking appetizers for like freaking fish sticks. I'm like, no, this is not my Boston. No, but it's like ridiculous. Like you know, I understand like supply stuff, and like also it's like, you know, it's like in a touristy part, and it's in kind of like, I don't want to say like a bougier part of Boston, but like it definitely wasn't like I don't go there looking for like affordable food per se, but like $30-$40 for fish sticks is like a little outrageous. So it's just like, okay, we took a train up to Boston Common. We saw that there was a McDonald's, and we're just like, I'm so close to giving up. Can we please just like get McDonald's? We didn't end up getting that. We went to like a different like sort of burger themed place, which was nice, and we ended up using their bathroom, like their single person bathroom, as like a changing room because it was just so fucking hot. I dressed kind of inappropriately for the morning slash afternoon. He did too because he wore a sweater because like it was kind of cold like in the morning, and like we knew we were going to be walking around all day, so it's just like, okay, well, like we'll dress in like layers, so then when it does get warmer we can like shed those layers. But like it got to the point where even shedding those layers was not feasible. Like I had like jeans on, I was like fully ready to be like, where are my shorts? Like I'm, you know, my legs have to be out because I am literally sweating my balls off. So we do this like entire song and dance of like, you know, navigating this like single person bathroom because like it was one of those places where it's just like customers only, and they have like a buzzer to sort of like buzz you in. um and By the time we got all of our sort of clothing situated and did like a full wardrobe change in this like tiny ass bathroom, we step outside and it starts raining and the temperature drops to 39 degrees. LOL sounds like convention food. Look, it's like I mean, like this is kind of there's many reasons why I don't go to conventions, which is why I was like only sort of circumstantially around this one. Um but no, it was like a lot to ask, and I'm just like, I understand, you know, city prices or whatever, but like that's pushing it. That is pushing city prices. Um it makes me glad that like it made me more appreciative about like how cheap food is here. Living in the middle of nowhere, like we don't have a lot of variety. It seems like all of the chains are closing down because they can't hire people and like pay them literally nothing, because like, you know, people are waking up to figure out what they know they deserve. um I think we're probably just about to lose our Chipotle, which does make me a little sad, but I know it's like not like top cuisine or anything, and but it's just like I was so used to not having one near me at all in like the entire state, and then like we finally like had some, and I was like, okay, shit, yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna eat this way more than I need to because it's different. um and now it's like never open. It's open for like 2 hours out of the day, out of like 3 days during the week, and I'm like, yeah, no, like that's something else is going in there like very very soon. Whatever it is, you know, I don't know. I feel like it's interesting because that strip mall has like, it's been consistently like Chipotle has been consistent there, but like the other two restaurants or eateries are like always changing up. But like now it's like the shitty Elevation Burger, I think, is like probably gonna end up being the one that outlasts the Chipotle. um which is, you know, like RIP, but I mean, I probably shouldn't be eating that much like grain anyway, or meat. It's not like I get it a lot, but you know, it's still nice sometimes if you're hungry enough for it. All right, we're gonna keep going with like, because I do have, I think, 4 more pictures here. So this is the view from our hotel room. It's like not, it probably doesn't look that great, but like I personally thought it was cute. um I think, I don't know, just like looking outside at like the city or whatever with like my man. It was like I thought it was very cute, but it was jarring to sort of remember that like, oh yeah, light pollution is a thing. I live somewhere where like that's not an issue. So we can like always just like look up and like see stars or whatever. I'm just like, oh yeah, I forget. It's not always like this. Some places it's like worse. But I mean, it's still. I know that's like very much this is like exposing me as a country bumpkin, but like being able to look outside and see that life is still going on past 9:30 is very refreshing because I hate how dead things get around here. It's like kind of sometimes it's a little bit scary. Oh yeah, so we're gonna scroll past this one quickly because I don't like that picture. But but you know, we there was this there's like sandwich place that we got like a breakfast sandwich at. I don't know why I kept that one like in the slideshow, but it's whatever. Because it's not a good picture. But I should have taken a picture of like the sandwich itself because it was actually good. I think it was literally called crack, like something crack, and I'm just like, you know what? I understand it. I understand it. It's an apt title. That being said, it was not a dining experience that I was like accustomed to for a bit because it was like, so just like imagine like a broom closet and that was like that was that was the restaurant. It was definitely more of a to-go kind of vibe. Yeah, I love those kinds. I love those kinds if like the weather is nice or if I'm not freezing. And I don't mind standing outside, but really 6 feet of space and everyone doesn't know where to stand. It's even more fun when nobody knows what to order. We 100% could, like, they did have like a website that we could have ordered off of, and then we could have just like picked it up there instead of like waiting in line to talk to somebody. But it was like, it was whatever. Like it wasn't the worst wait that I had like all weekend. Again, I'm exposing myself as very much of a country bumpkin. I think that the entirety of this stream is being like, oh my god, like look at all these like new things, and which is kind of silly because I've lived in like a city before. I lived in like Kochi City for like almost a year. I know people don't consider that like a city in comparison to like Tokyo or whatever, but just like it's more of a city than like anywhere we have in my state. So like I'm gonna take it. If it has tall buildings and light pollution, it's a city to me. That's a very low bar. I haven't been able to get out much in the pandemic, which makes me very sad because I used to travel so much. But now I'm just kind of homebound, and I mean, like, I think ultimately I am like kind of a homebody most of the year, but like I don't know, I still kind of just like mini adventures and shit. I mean, kind of, yeah. I mean, like I live in like not by like a farm, but like kind of like, even though I'm like I'm in a city, it's still like mostly forest, so I'm just kind of like without doxing myself, obviously. I don't think that gives any details away, and even if it did, it's just like good luck finding my house. I'm like in the middle of nowhere. No, as much as I want to be like, I wish I lived in like a city in my 20s, I'm just kind of like, I don't know, I like space a lot, and I think I've definitely enjoyed having space during the pandemic, because like I haven't been remotely close to like getting COVID because I barely see anybody. Like the roads are like so empty, and like supermarkets aren't usually that crowded. It's great. It feels like I'm in like my own little separate world from like the rest of the planet that's falling apart. Even though I know that's not entirely true. In Georgia, we get a little bit both at all times. That's what I hear. I don't really know a lot of people that that are still in Georgia, but I do have some friends that that used to live. I know one used to live around Atlanta. I'm trying to remember where the other friend was from. I don't know. They're gonna watch this later and like hate me, but it's whatever. But yeah, no, it's like, I mean, I wouldn't mind having a combo of both. I wouldn't mind like being able to like, I mean, like it'd be nice to have like a lot of space, then like have easy access into like sort of more of a city to like do things. But like until then, I'm very comfortable just like maybe seeing 3 or 5 cars like all day and like that being it. The only downside though is like it means that like we don't have that many internet providers, so we're kind of stuck with a really shitty one. Plus it means when it snows it takes forever for everything to like clear up. It's not great. Oh yeah, so this is you know, I don't know the name of this because I'm not smart. It's like the government, I think it's the government center in Boston. I personally think it's ugly as shit, but I think that's kind of the idea. Isn't it like, I think it's like, what did my boyfriend say it was? It was like brutalist architecture or something. Or some kind of inspired of like that. Which is like, okay, whatever. Like, it looks functional, I guess, but like, personally, I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of just boring. Kind of mid. Architecture for the heteros. I mean, yeah. It's like, I want something with like a little bit more razzle dazzle. Like, I don't need something that's like, you know, one of those like weird twisty buildings or whatever that's like a complicated architectural like art piece or something. But it's like, you know, like have something that's like has a little bit more character. You're in a city that's like hundreds of years old at this point, you know, bring in the character. Yeah, where's my Willy Wonka architecture? Period though. Oh yeah, also, you kind of get to see what our what our memes were that day with like him just like carrying around the Shaw's bag. I was like against bringing a suitcase because I was just like, we're not going to be there that long, and like we're going to be spending most of Saturday like not in the hotel because we have to check out kind of mid-morning, so I don't want to be dragging around like a suitcase all day. And then like literally 3 hours in, I'm just like, oh my god, I wish I'd brought a suitcase instead. Carrying this backpack with like all of my change of clothes in it, and it was like not a good idea. My shoulders hated myself so much by the end of it. I'm just like, I should have, like, would I have looked kind of kooky dragging around a suitcase like all day? It's like probably a little bit, but like, I mean, we didn't go anywhere anyway. Like, it'd be one thing if I was like bringing a suitcase into like the aquarium or like a government building, because they probably thought I was a fucking terrorist or something. But but like, since we were just kind of like walking around, I'm just like, I probably could have gotten away with it instead of like having a backpack. But I also could have packed way lighter. But I'm an overpacker. I over prepare a lot of the times, because, and then somehow I still always forget stuff. This time I didn't. So I feel like this is like sort of a good upward trend for me, sort of getting back into the mindset of travel, that like I didn't forget anything this time. And I didn't lose anything either, which I was like really happy about. I was really scared I was gonna lose something. That's why I didn't bring my computer or anything. I mean, it didn't matter anyway because I was like barely in the hotel, like anyway. I got to enjoy the room for like a tiny bit. It was a nice room, but for like a chain hotel. But oh, is this the last photo? Oh, I'm silly. All right, for some reason I thought I had more. Well, anyways, yeah. So that's my that's my Boston trip. Yeah, I don't know. It was a lot of fun. I feel like I've said that like a million times at this point, but it's true. I hope I get to go back. Oh, I mean, I say that, but like I am going back soon. I have a. Well, I mean, I'm hoping I still do. I know. Okay, we're gonna out myself as a Disney adult, but Aly and AJ are playing. Wait, oh shit, is it next? Oh fuck, yeah, it's next week. Oh, they're playing next Wednesday. Um, yeah, they're playing Boston next Wednesday, and my friend got me tickets. So I don't know if she can still go. If she still can't go, I'm still on the fence of whether or not I'm gonna go. Um, I still have to get like train tickets if I do, um, but that would, that's bringing me back into Boston, I guess. Um, oh my god, I was upset when I kind of found out sort of late that because it was like a 20-year celebration of like this specific line of like Amtrak or whatever. They were doing like $20 for like a round trip from like anywhere in my state to like Boston. I think actually like it went down further too. And like I really should have taken advantage of it more if I knew about it, because I'm just like, oh, $20, hell yeah, like I'm just gonna go wherever I want, like crash at a friend's place or something. Become become a walking super spreader. No, but I didn't end up doing it because the days were kind of weird. Like it was definitely intentional that they made it so that it could only be like random days in the middle of the week is when you could take advantage of that deal, I guess. So I didn't end up like kind of going with it, but like I wish if they'd extend it for one more week, then my train ticket to the concert could be $20. That's okay. I get it. You know, you're paying for an experience. Like I didn't pay for the concert ticket, so like I guess I gotta pay from somewhere, I guess, instead of just freeloading. But no, my friend was really sweet to like offer me those. But I think she said that she has like a job interview coming up or something. This is like completely like uninteresting information that I'm just like sharing. I don't know why I'm like dishing on like somebody else's like private life, but there's a chance I don't go. Because I've been to concerts by myself before. It's like not a big deal, but it would be nice for me to be able to go with somebody, especially when it's just like, I'll be honest, as much as I'm sort of like I'm not like a massive Aly and AJ stan. I'm a stan in like the extent of like I knew them from like Disney days, so there's like the nostalgia aspect of it. But when it comes to like their newer stuff, I'm pretty illiterate. So like I'd want to be going with somebody who like actually knows the words and like is like fully like invested in the show in that way, which is like definitely my friend. Which I love that about her. She has like amazing energy at concerts. It like makes me feel even if I don't know the artist at all, because like I mean like I knew who Shawn Mendes was, but like I would I have like actively gone to a Shawn Mendes concert without her? Probably not. But like she made it fun. So but we'll see. I hope she can still go, because I would hate to go by myself. Because it's just me like sitting on a train like by myself and for like 2.5 hours, and then being in like an arena for like a bit. I don't know. I don't know who's the opening act for that night. I guess this is kind of like a time for me to check it, but while I'm sort of like shifting gears, I guess. It looks fun and exhausting. It really was. Sorry, I'm really slow at like reading chat, but yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. But I was like very tired for like, the next couple of days when I got back. Like I was so ready to just to throw myself into like my bed and like just sleep forever. I mean, I needed to shower first because I was like sweaty and gross, but that's not a detail you needed to know. Who was opening for them? Oh, come on. Come on, Ticketmaster, please. Yeah, okay, it's not letting me know. I'll figure it out. Like, I'll find like a better way to figure. Oh wait, is it? Oh no, never mind. Here it is. Who are the? Is it the Brummies? I don't know who they are. Are any of them hot? That's my question. I need to know if they're hot. Then I'll be invested. But oh, I mean they're not bad look. They're not my type. I'll say that they're not my type. But like they are artsy. If they're like talented, then just like okay, then they can like kind of fit into my type, I guess. That's so mean. I shouldn't say that. I'm sure they're. I'll probably check out like maybe like some of their songs like after stream. Which actually, I'm trying to think if that may or may not be soon. Here's the deal. All right, so I guess this is sort of like another story time. I had, because I've been playing a lot of the Final Fantasy VII Battle Royale. I figured it's just like, okay, well, like maybe there's like some streaming stuff that I can get out of it, but like the way that it's like currently set up right now and like how like Streamlabs is that Streamlabs only has LAN streaming for Android and I have an iPhone, so I would have to be using like a screen mirroring app, which like I've tried before if I wanted to like stream certain like mobile games like Wild Rift. And like it's just super laggy. It doesn't look good when I'm trying to do like the screen mirror and then use the window capture in Streamlabs. So most of the time I'll just stream directly off of my phone. But like the problem with that is just like I can't control when I can turn my mic off, or I can't fix like the volume levels if it's like not great. And like I also can't have like my own music going. Or like this overlay and like everything. So like it kind of just like kind of poo-poos on my aesthetic and my vibe a little bit. Take a shot every time Sean says vibe tonight. So what I sort of landed on as like a halfway thing is like, okay, well, I already play this game a lot. What if I have some pre-recorded footage that I can have kind of going on in the background during certain streams, and just sort of like have that be at least like a sort of like an intermittent way to what's the word I'm looking for, and kind of like disperse gaming content, because like again, like I think I don't have a problem with I mean I've streamed directly off of like the Twitch app like a couple times before on this channel and it's been fine. I just like I don't know. It's like I have a hard time focusing like on chat if it's like for certain games, and then and that kind of makes me feel bad a little bit. But also just like it kind of I don't know. Sometimes it can like sort of take the fun out of streaming for me a little bit. So I felt like this was like kind of like a good in between way to do it. The the problem was like I tweeted about it. I got about 3 hours worth of like footage, which I know is like a mentally ill amount to like play like a mobile game probably within like a short period of time, but I was like really invested in being like, okay, like I'll have some pre-recorded footage going on, and then when I was like editing it all together in like Premiere so that I could like sort of have it ready for tonight, I ran into like a big and all 3 hours of that of that footage became entirely useless. So I'm just like, well, shit. Like, well, what the fuck do I do now? I was able to scramble some together from today. I was gonna have that playing sort of in the background of sort of the more just chatting portions of stream, like after doing the the trip related stuff, but I kind of like underestimated how much I'd be able to glean out of just talking about like just sort of recapping the trip, to the point where like sort of the next thing for me to do would be to jump to like a bigger topic. And to be perfectly honest, I don't really have one. I don't have one prepared. I have like lots of things that I do want to talk about that I have plans for in like the coming week. Um like there's definitely some shows that I've been checking out. Like I still need to finish Russian Doll. I have not started Moon Knight, sadly, but it's almost done though, right? Like I can just like watch it all in like one sitting now, I think. So that might be like a thing I do soon as well. So I can cover that and my my thoughts with that. And then also there's a show called Heartstopper that just got added to Netflix. I was aware of the web comic. I did not read it, so I don't have the same attachment as like um a lot of the viewer base has, but like I still recognized it. And I'm definitely excited to look into that. I've kind of heard nothing but good things about it, and it is sort of, from what I've seen, this seems like a good way to describe it. It's sort of like it's nice to have queer related media that's allowed to be very fluffy and not have like either trauma or like a lot of like shock value in it. If you're going with like, because it seems like most high school shows like that like are going to have sort of LGBT topics in them are going to be kind of the edgier shows. And like, don't get me wrong, I love me some edge. I love Euphoria. I love sex ed. I loved sex ed before they got fucking weird with that romance arc. But I mean, will I still keep watching the show? Like, yeah, but it's just like, like those are kind of like the shows that you end up getting like a lot of, not a lot of, but like you get solid queer representation in them, in the sense that like they get to be main characters, and they get to have storylines that like aren't B plots around their queerness. So but like the problem is that it comes along with like with Euphoria being Euphoria, and sex ed just kind of having like a lot of very even though I personally don't mind it, it's definitely not a family friendly show. And it's just like, and like I don't know that necessarily that Heartstopper is supposed to be family friendly either, but it's definitely more, from what I've heard, it's more accessible for people that don't really want shows that are like intense and kind of just want like a romance. I know that's like more than just like the romance, and there is like stuff that happens in it, but 'cause I think one of the characters is like because it starts off with him being outed, I think, but like I don't think it goes like super like dark with it, which like granted, like if they did go dark with it, like I wouldn't mind, because I know that's a pretty intense reality for like a lot of high schoolers, is being outed. But I don't think it's like something that's like super heavily weighs on the plot, to my knowledge, but I guess I'll find out when I actually do watch it. Yeah, there's lots of things that I want to watch and things that like I want to cover. It's just tonight I knew that like I wanted to recap my trip, because I didn't get to do that earlier in the week because I didn't get to stream. I was too sick to stream Monday, and then last night I wasn't able to stream because I had like plans with like my partner sort of at the last minute. So which like I know I already just spent the weekend with him. Why am I like hanging out with him a ton during the week too, to the point where I'm canceling other arrangements? But it's like, what can you do? So I don't think I'm probably going to stream tomorrow. I know it's usually Mondays, Wednesdays, and sometimes Fridays, and this week it's only Thursday. I'm definitely slacking a bit on my schedule, but I mean, like, it's traveling's been a lot. It's been kind of good to not be thinking about what the next stream is going to be all the time though, and like what the next like topic is going to be. Just be able to just kind of like exist with content, I guess, and be able to choose from there, because there was a little bit of a period of time where I was very much in you know, what's next kind of mode, even though the stakes are honestly not that high. Like, I am kind of the only person who's holding myself to that strict of a standard, when like the reality is like I can just like kind of hop on and talk about whatever I want. But like in my mind I'm just like, no, I have to have this like prepared bullet point list, and I have to be more well researched, and like, oh, if I don't meet this beat at this certain time, or like meet this time mark or whatever, then like it's gonna like fall apart. And it's just like, no, you're literally fine. You just like, you turn on like a mic and like sit in front of a computer for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, like you'll be okay. And it's just kind of a thing I have to keep reminding myself, is to just be like, this is supposed to be fun, like have fun. That does lead me into like just because it's, I mean, it seems like the through line for a lot of tonight has just been me going on and on about like anxiety. But Mental Health Awareness Month is May. I think probably if I stream Monday, which I'm pretty sure, I don't see any reason why I wouldn't stream on Monday. I'll probably do a stream about that, just to like kick off the month and be sort of just like talking about my experiences with it. I'm hoping I don't get like too too vulnerable with it, and just kind of get to, I definitely don't want it to be a downer. And I don't think it would be either. I feel like I've been pretty lucky overall to like have sort of a pretty uncomplicated journey towards mental health wellness, I guess, if that makes any sense. Like I definitely do, I do deal with shit. Being like fully, you know, being fully transparent, like I like have I have generalized anxiety disorder. I'm like pretty, I say I'm pretty depressed, but I just say it like, I should say it clinically, it's like major depressive disorder. And like then I'm also bipolar, so that's like fun. And I'm also very ADHD, which I think is like pretty apparent to most people when they on like their first interaction with me. So there's just like a lot of things that go along with that. I'm sure I have plenty to talk about with it. I'm excited to prepare like a little bit for it. I think it'll be sort of nice to start off the month with that, especially because it's been the thing I've been wanting to talk about the channel for a little while, but just didn't really find like an easy time to do it. I guess I did dive into it like a little bit during like my birthday stream, because it's kind of hard not to acknowledge sort of the feelings that I have around sort of, I have like a weird fixation on certain numbers when it comes to like years or days, and for me 25 is like, is that girl. So so I knew I was going to be kind of like in my feels about some shit, but all that being said, I think I am I was going to maybe transition to like gaming stuff tonight, but it's like honestly I should probably just try to get rest, since I wasn't feeling good. I'm glad I was able to get through stream without like feeling too crappy, but I definitely want to like keep myself from what am I trying to say? I don't want to push myself too much. Which like I am like a little bit in my head about being like, you've streamed once this week for like an hour, you're fine, you're not pushing yourself that hard. But I'm just like, I don't know, knowing me, I'm gonna be like up until 2, and like, no, I should be getting more rest, and so that I can be like all good by the weekends, because I have stuff that I need to be doing. Then I can be ready for Monday stream, and then I guess I will see what happens with the Aly and AJ concert on Wednesday. Um, I mean, if you're watching this back in the future, you'll know probably what what happens. Um, so I guess with that being said, though, I'm gonna look for somebody to raid, and then I'll save some of the other shit that I had for some other time. Um, who's online though? I guess maybe I should do like a regular outro so it's easier for me to like edit this later before I like upload it. Um, and then I'll deal with I'll deal with the raid stuff in a bit. I mean, Vaish's streaming, so I'll probably raid him. Um, but thank you to everybody who stopped by, and listened to me just kind of gush about my girlies trip with my man this past weekend. Um, if you're watching this in the future, I stream every single episode of this on twitch.tv/girlnextdoor podcast on Mondays, Wednesdays, and sometimes Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So feel free to come on through, join the chat, join the convo, come vibe, and... Alright, shit, I already forgot the next thing I was gonna say, but that's okay. We're workshopping it. We're figuring it out. But I hope everybody is having a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever, and I'll catch y'all soon. Bye!